property. And you know that usually property means array properties means they will be the same name as index numbers. Array properties, it will return 0, 1, 2. Array properties, it will return 0, 1, 2. If this property can read the properties, based on property also we can access values. How? I can write an expression like this. We are printing a property. We are printing a property and a colon, and we are printing the value. How to print the value? Actually, in cannot directly print value. What you can do is, we can call the collection. Into the collection, we can pass the property. Into the collection, we can pass the property. So in that particular property, what value is present, it will return. In that case, you can see that you are creating an iterator for reading the properties. Based on properties, you can read the values also. But if you want to directly read only values, then you have another technique. This is reading the properties that you can do by using for in. It is an iterator that returns all properties of an array. Based on properties, you can access the values. And this is an example for that, how you can read all the properties. And how we can read all the values. That means this is same for of. That means it is an iterator. It is an iterator used to read. It is used to read all values from a collection. Values from a collection. So it directly returns the values from a collection. That means how we write here is nothing but this time we are simply using a condition like this. Let me write again for your convenience to understand. For where value of collection is products. That means in the products, every value it can read, not property, value. Of is for reading values. And I can print console.log. I want to print the value. And you can see it will read every value until it is end. And it will display. And you can see that I will compile and I will run this. And you can see it is reading all the values, not the properties. Directly we can read the values from an array by using the of operator. Of is for reading all the values. Instead of using the of operator, so this is an example for of operator. We can create a loop also. We can create a loop. I'm displaying this. We can create a loop also. For is used for it creates a loop for reading values based on initialization and condition and counter. Based on initialization, condition and counter. Then how we write this for loop? Usually for loop is written like this. So that means for where I is equal to 0. That means from where to start initialization. I less than or equal to, so products dot length will return the total count, how many are there. Products dot length will return the total count, how many elements are there, until the end of all the elements, condition and counter plus plus. That means after reading the current, it will move to the next counter. And now we can print the values like products of I. That means first time it will be 0, second time it will be 1, third time it will be 2. until the end of values it will read. Now, what is the advantage of this loop is, loop advantage is you can skip the counters, you can step the counters, you can have a step value, you can have a skip value for the counters, right? By using step and skip values in the counters, we can ignore any specific value. Iterations also we can ignore, but again in iterations we have to write conditions to skip the counters. Here directly while defining a loop, we can tell where to skip the counters. So those generally are known to everyone who knows what is for loops and all basically. As of now, this is the basic example for that. That means now this is based on the condition. We call them as loops. We will compile this and we will run this, and you can see it is working fine. And obviously it is reading TV, mobile, and shoe. I will keep this as less than. So products dot length, because it is reading the last index also. So we means until the end of the index also, which is not required, then it will return only these three: TV, mobile, and shoe. So it is reading the values from a collection and it is printing those values. So this is based on a loop. Loops and iterations are different because you observed that iteration doesn't require any condition, initialization, and counter, but loops requires an initialization when to start, a condition when to end, a counter. So then based on that, it can read the values and print. These are all the various techniques of reading values from an array. Depending on the situation, we have to use various methods of reading. So how to read the values from an array, how to destruct an array, these are the two things we discussed today. And how to add values into array, remove values from the array, these are the things we will learn, that we will see in next session, right? Tomorrow we will continue with this. In tomorrow's session, we will discuss about how we can read the values, how we can insert. Not tomorrow, Monday. Monday, we will discuss how we can insert, how we can update, how we can delete the values present in an array, right? Array manipulations, on Monday, we will finish that. Then we can go to other data types and deal with them, because array is only the concept which we use very regularly in Angular. That's the reason you need to be very perfect in understanding all the techniques of arrays. Then it is easy for dealing with the data, especially client side. Data means dealing with array. That's the reason you need to be perfect in that, right? Then Monday, we will discuss about the rest of the concepts. Okay, thank you. Yeah, the notes GitHub location. So I will upload the GitHub location. Yeah, I will upload into the GitHub location, right? So GitHub, you have the GitHub link. So I will give the GitHub link.